Hello, everyone. My name is Luis Mendez here in Lake Wales, Florida. I'm here at Bizlinc with our special guest, Derrick Blue.
Derek
Derrick
Blue.
Blue, would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, thanks. Well, first of all, Lewis, thank you. Thank you for taking this time and allowing me to chat with you. My name is Derrick Blue. I am the co-founder of Florida Development Corporation and COO. I am also a part of the group that actually founded Bizlinc, which is a business incubator that is located right here in Lake Wales, in the heart of the Northwest community. And essentially, we're in a partnership with the city of Lake Wales to recruit new business, to assist businesses that may need an extra help to grow in, and also to work with startup companies right here in the city. My background, Lewis, is community development.
Okay.
For the last several years, that's been my focus.
So let's talk a little bit about you. The past, I'd say the past 5, 10 years. What were you doing? How did you become Derrick Blue of today?
Well, that's a great question. So, I'll take you maybe a few years back. I started doing housing in low income communities through a program called the Weatherization Assistance Program. And I did that in Putnam and Flagler counties. And an organization from Tampa found me doing that, and they liked what I did. They liked my work ethic, and they brought me to the big city of Bartow to open up an office there in Bartow for Polk County. And through that move, it introduced me to the Bay Area and the organization that I worked for. I worked my way up from being an inspector, doing weatherization projects, sometimes 20 to 30 a month with a budget of about $6 million, to later becoming the CEO of that organization and developing a business incubator in the heart of East Tampa. There's a lot of stuff that happened in between that, but that's kind of like the big picture, kind of abbreviated version.
Okay, nice. And I know you touched a little bit about BizLink, but kind of elaborate more. So if someone drives by, they see BizLink, or they're reading articles, they're seeing things, what is BizLink?
So Bizlink is a business incubator. And what a business incubator is, it's a company that, just like in the natural sense, when a baby is born and he's premature and doesn't really have the doesn't really have the capacity to be able to develop on their own. So what doctors do is they put them in what's called an incubator. And what the incubator does, it connects them with the vital things that that baby would need in order to grow into a healthy baby. So in the same way, you think about businesses, specifically in areas like the Northwest community, and areas like this, where there's a lot of innovation, there's a lot of ideas, but businesses don't necessarily have the resources that they need. So an incubator provides resources, whether it be affordable rent, sometimes free, uh, free training, support, back office support, advice, consultation, technical assistance, so that that business can kind of get out of that struggle zone and thrive in the marketplace. So that's basically what a business incubator is, and that's what we do here in the Northwest community.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah,
I know, from doing real estate, trying to do a bunch of different
yeah,
businesses in the past, you know, I had to learn the hard way.
right,
And I like how what you're doing is you're helping people like, hey, I learned the hard way. This is what I have, this is what I found. Jump off, grow from my shoulders in a sense. I like that. It's pretty awesome.
exactly.
Now I see you were all over Florida. Flagler, all the way out to Tampa to Bartow. What made you come to Lake Wells, Florida?
So here's what I say. Um, I believe that God has a plan. I believe that God sent me, our company here, because of what He wanted to do in the city of Lake Wales. Um, I, a gentleman by the name of Daryl Starling,
Yeah.
He at the time he was an employee of the city of Lake Wells, a CRE coordinator. I believe that's what his title was. Forgive me if I'm saying it wrong, but uh, he introduced us to Lincoln Avenue in the Northwest community, and he began to tell us about the vision, the envision plan, and the Lake Wells Connected plan. And immediately we fell in love with it because this is what places like Lake Wells, this is what places like East Tampa, and all of these other areas, these low income areas that have often been neglected. This is what they need,
Mhm.
an incentive for developers to come in and develop. So what we did was we came in, we're real estate developers, and we purchased a lot from the city of Lake Wells, and we told them we want to put a quality home here. We want to put a family in it that could actually afford it. So what brought us here was we were amazed at the vision, and we jumped 2 feet into it.
Yeah. And now let's get really into the main discussion while
Yeah,
we're here. I think it's pretty awesome. You, a business owner, come to Lake Wells. You see the future of Lake Wells.
yeah,
I mean, I feel the same way. I come from Orlando.
wow,
Uh, when I'm not gonna lie, when you're a real estate agent, you don't go to Polk County.
right,
If you're in Orlando, you're like Polk County. That's 5 hours away when it's like 15 minutes down the road. And then you actually come here. It's like, wow, it's pretty nice. I come to Lake Wells, fell in love. I thought it was like one of those hallmark towns.
absolutely,
And it reminded me of in Orlando, West Orlando, is a town called Winter Garden.
yes,
And I seen how Winter Garden looked before they remodeled everything. And now it's like a place to go to. Everyone loves it there. Same as, Winter Park, they completely remodeled that whole area. And seeing Lake Wells, when I moved here, then finding out they're going to remodel everything, it's like, this is a great opportunity. I've seen what it does. I've seen what it can do. It's going to be a great opportunity. And it's awesome that you brought your business here. But there's been a news outlet
yeah,
um, that, should uplift and support the town, should support businesses. I would assume, instead of playing political games, I think it should be a source of help. But they came up and attacked you. They attacked not just you, they attacked the business here and the business owners. Tell us a little bit about that experience.
yeah. So we we received news that we were in a local news outlet. I think it's an online publication, and there was some pretty um, some pretty disturbing allegations that were made, against myself, my background, uh, my organization, as well as some of the businesses that are actually located here. Our focus is to come into this community as what we consider ourselves an asset to the community, a resource to a community that's already struggling. And a lot of the information that was actually published on that online media, it spoke negatively about my background, about what I've done, and my last profession,
Yeah,
making allegations that or wording that I was terminated, and all of these different unmerited, just untrue statements. But then also about the businesses that are actually here at Bizlinc, uh, things like them being unlicensed and not having the things that they need, and ultimately it was, it was aimed and what I looked at it as more of a distraction, uh, because there's something great happening at BizLink. There's something great happening in the Northwest community, ultimately in the city of Lake Wells, and I looked at that as a major distraction, and more of a hurt than it is a help to the actual businesses here.
yeah. Did anyone come and call you, ask anything, find out information, question, any of those false accusations that they had on you?
No, no, I hadn't heard from anybody. We didn't hear from anybody at all. No email, no phone call. just accusations, just no basis to them. And what we did, one of them was regarding licensing and business tax receipts. That was like,
Yeah.
I guess, one of the things there. And what we did was we decided, instead of going back and forth, we went directly to the Polk County Tax Collector's office and actually uh, went directly to the leadership. And we said, hey, look, we have a business incubator in the Northwest community. We shared our vision with what we're doing. And we'd like for you guys to come and do a workshop. And we want you to, number one, we need you to ease the minds of the businesses that are already here, because many of them already have business tax receipts. That's
Yeah.
not a prerequisite for doing business in the state of Florida. It's not a license. It's a permit, if you will, that gives you that allows you the privilege to do business in Polk County. And many of them had them. They just, again, they had them at different addresses.
Yeah.
They had them, maybe some of them operated home businesses and still do. Some of them have businesses in other locations. They were licensed businesses, but the outlet placed the focus on a business tax receipt that many of them already had. And as an incubator, their businesses there, no business is created equal.
Yeah.
They come here for help. They may or may not have what they need right now. But again, at the end of their journey, they'll have everything that they need. We put them on a journey, but their primary focus that we focus on as an incubator initially is not whether or not you have a tax receipt. One, have you incorporated your business in the state of Florida correctly? Are you're an LLC, but maybe you should be a C corp.
Yeah.
How's your business model? Do we need to encourage you to invest more time in it, or do we need to take it behind the barn and shoot it?
Yeah.
It's all of those questions, and then we kind of transition into those other things that may not be as vital to the business, like a tax receipt.
And I'm sure I saw the meeting. You sent me the link, the video of the meeting, and I heard some of the folks talking about like they had clients who
Yeah,
questioned them.
yeah.
Talk a little bit about that.
Yeah, we have companies in here. Again, these businesses are small businesses who connect with us. Some of them have been in existence for 3 months. Some of them have been in existence for 7 years.
Yeah.
The common denominator is that they just need a resource either to grow or to scale their business. So I received feedback from a lot of these businesses in here saying, hey, my business name was listed in this article, and I have customers that trust me. And then when they read this, or if they read this, now they're looking at me funny, thinking that I'm uninsured. They're thinking I'm unlicensed, and it impacted my business because it impacted their reputation. And those businesses, I couldn't stop them from coming up there and saying something about that because they wanted their voice to be heard, but they wanted in their own words.
Yeah.
And that wasn't even all of them who they just disapproved of it because you work all your life to finally have something that's yours.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And then in a community like the Northwest community, then you have a city make an investment to partner with an organization like ours to say, hey, let's give these folks a place to where they can have office space that's well below market value, in some cases subsidized. Let's make sure they can get the training that they need. Let's make sure they can get the resources they need. But then to get feedback like that from the media outlet was like a slap in the face to them. And I can't blame them because I felt the same way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it affects your family.
Yeah.
Like whenever
How you eat.
whenever I get if I get a client who's like, I'm not going to use you. I'm just going to go directly to this, to the listing person, or I'm just, I'm going to try to do things on my own. In a sense, it's like, I could really help you 10 times better for me to help you, but you're, not just you don't really know, like you're hurting me a little, you're taking away, from my family. Um, when I see this article, and here's the stuff too. Around town, you go to different stores, and I'm like recording my stuff, and then you would hear people like, "Oh, did you hear about missing $1 million?" Or you hear about this company. They didn't say name. I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I really don't read that the news thing. And I'm over here like, like, what are you talking about? Or like, yeah, there's a business there, and I don't have a business license. I'm not gonna lie. I tried a few businesses and I didn't get a business license. I just tried to see if I wanted to go down the road.
Yeah.
And and I'm over here like, what's the whole thing? What is this? And then I saw someone post it, and shortly after I was like, this can't be. Then I got a text from you, and I'm like, I didn't even read the whole thing. I read part of it, and I'm like, it just doesn't make sense. Doesn't add up. And I really hate when people attack small businesses or lives or does these things, because it could really destroy. And you hurt people. A lot of businesses, if being like, the Bible talks about, if you don't work, you don't eat.
Right.
Well, a lot of businesses, you're dependent on that close, you're dependent on that sale, because if you don't get that, and you put so much effort into that, and if you don't get that, you lose that business. Or people just get wind of a lie, you lose that complete business. And seeing that, and especially when I heard a lady talk about, she had a client, say like, was questioning her, questioning her integrity. That's you're affecting your whole family. Like, that's very irresponsible for you to just ask some questions. Try to find out the whole motive behind it. That's a very messed up thing to do.
Yeah.
Kind word.
And it's dangerous. It really is. And fortunately, we have outlets like this. Fortunately, we made some tremendous investments in the city, in more than just brick and mortar, but in the lives of people, to where it wasn't hard for them to come and speak on our behalf. And it's not because they think I'm such a great guy.
Yeah.
They're good people everywhere, or people who want to be good everywhere. It's not because of that. But it's because you can't fake support. You can't fake love. We walk these streets.
Yeah.
And we talk to people, and we talk to families, and we talk to these guys who are washing cars on the side of the road, or these people who are handymen who are working in their trucks. And we have a conversation with them and say, man, there may be something that we can do to help you. And that doesn't lie. That facts don't lie. Support doesn't lie. And what you saw from that video is, you just saw people saying, well, wait a minute. Wait a minute. I'm licensed. I'm doing business here. I'm being blessed. I'm being helped by this organization. So I don't get it. I don't understand it. And I think that, and I'll say this, and I think, as community leaders, and I consider myself a community leader. I consider you a community leader. I think we have a responsibility. And if we love the community where we're serving at, we have a responsibility to try to build that community up. And I just find you can't build by trying to tear down. Fortunately for us, the community came out and said, well, not only is that false, but now we're going to support you even at a greater measure.
Yeah. I like to play devil's advocate on stuff. I don't like calling it that, but I like to look at the other side, and I like to hope, no one really had, ill intention. I like to hope that, they're like, people are doing bad business, and just expose it,
right,
without really doing, I would say that's part of a sinful nature to just jump out of the flesh. But if you have a big organization, a profession, if this was a high school blog, or some kid just doing it, that's one thing. But if this is like a big, supposedly like the town's news, it's like you have to have some higher integrity for this stuff.
Yeah,
And but I really do believe, now that, I believe bad press, good press, I think is great press.
yeah,
You know, it's kind of like the whole Cat Williams thing.
yeah,
What's
man.
his like? What's that guy came out? And he goes, "Oh, man, you didn't talk about me. At least
Yeah,
say
Mike
something."
Epps.
Yeah, he's like, say something about me.
Yeah,
Like I'm about to do a comedy show. Like
right.
I think now your name is spread out more. Or at least people are gonna,
Yeah.
you know, they're gonna know about you more. And then I think the truth really does kind of stand out.
Lewis, it's funny you say that, man. And I always quote my grandmother. I was raised by my grandparents for the majority of my life. And I just remember them saying this. They would say, Derrick, because, I always had a problem when I felt like people were misrepresenting me.
Yeah,
I've just had that problem. I always say nothing about me without me. But, they used to tell me, they was like, Derrick, a lie runs fast,
yeah,
but the truth will slowly walk it down. And all you have to do is you keep walking, keep doing what you're doing. And before it's over with, every doubter, everybody that may have subscribed to that idea, those falsehoods about what we do, um, results won't lie, man. And you're right. Somebody told me that as well. Actually, my wife, Melanie, she works with us here as well. But she was like, look. And I'm paraphrasing what she said, but she basically was saying, listen, um, sometimes it takes criticism. Sometimes however the intention was, it had a ill impact, a ill effect. But she said sometimes it takes that so people can really look closer and
yeah,
see what you're actually doing.
yeah.
Yeah,
I think once people see this and at least start to see the truth. And I mean, you're an open book. If someone wanted to, they could just reach out to you, right?
absolutely.
I came here. I sent you a message.
Yeah,
I wanted to find out way before. I just want to
right.
know what this is. And a lot of local business owners, I go up there. Hey, what is your business? What do you do? Like, can I, can I make
Yeah,
something? You know, but I think now more parents, and you probably see this more parents when their kids. I would push for my kid to do a business rather than go
absolutely,
to a
man.
4-year university and work for somebody else
Yeah.
and be in like hundreds of thousands of debt. Start a business. And I think more parents are going to probably come up and say, hey, you should go to Bizlinc,
Man,
go check that out.
I'm so glad you mentioned that because that's exactly what's happening, man. You're right. There's been a change. Um, you know, Unfortunately or fortunately, everybody's not going to college.
Yeah.
They're not. They don't want the debt. It's just not a fit for them. But what if you pick up a trade? What if you look at your creativity and you say, you know what, I can make a business out of this. You need somewhere to go. That's how communities are changed. It's one thing just to have an idea, but then it's completely different when you actually have a place that you can go. And prayerfully, in the next few months, we're launching a youthpreneur program
Oh, nice.
for kids, for youth who are interested in starting their business. We're going to teach them the basic principles of entrepreneurship and how they can launch whatever business it is. See if it makes sense. See, make them some money and have them looking forward. That's how you redevelop. That's one of the mechanisms and the tools that you need to redevelop a community. One, of course, is affordable housing. You and I talk about that a lot.
Yeah.
Um, Incentivizing development, recruiting new businesses to an area, but then also there has to be an investment in the youth in that community. And I'd prefer to be focused on what our assignment and mission is. But unfortunately, we have to take time and address things that we're talking about today. But we got a lot of work to do, man.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if you watch like global news and stuff like that. The new president of what's this country? Argentina. I totally forgot his name, but he went to Davos to do a speech, and he had a really good speech. I mean, it broke the internet, at least for people who's like really into that world. But he said one thing. He goes, "What got people out of poverty in the 1800s? The whole world was in poverty, but what really shook that was the industrialized.
Yes,
And what brings people out of poverty is capitalism. But in capitalism, you can't have one or two businesses. You need to have a lot of businesses.
absolutely.
And in order to be very successful at that, you know, having something that's going to teach people, show people, because I would, whenever you do business, you're always learning. For someone to say they know
Always.
everything, give it 2 years, they're out
Right.
of business because it's always growing. The legal part, the basic part, that's a step one or two. Other than that, there's so many places to grow. And I'm really happy you do have that. And I see you have coming up April 6th,
Yes.
your expo. Let's talk about that.
Man, so April the 6th. If you're listening to this, thank you again, Louise. So if you're listening to this, April 6th, we're having a Biz Expo. It's going to be at the James Austin Center, right on MLK, right here in Lake Wales, from 10 a.m. till about 2 p.m. There are going to be workshops, there'll be speakers, panel discussions, vendors. If you like to vend, you can vend. We're looking for sponsors, the whole 9 yards. You can go to www.mybizlinc.com. That's MYBIZLINC.com. You can register, but by all means, please, you're invited. We want to.
It's a free event.
It's a free event. It's a free event. If you like to vend, it's like a small fee, maybe $50 if you want to vend or something like that. But it's free for the community.
Nice.
We're trying to give away food, prizes, the whole 9 yards. So you're invited, April the 6th.
Who should, I call this, whenever I'm showing houses, I'm like, this is the honey, stop the car.
Yeah.
Who needs to stop what they're doing and make it to this? Who are those people?
Good question. If you have a business in the city of Lake Wales and you want to connect with customers, you want to connect with partners, perhaps financial institutions, you should come. If you are interested and want to support what's happening in the Northwest community, you should come. There's a lot of great things happening here, and you should come just to support that. If you have a young kid, maybe your mother, you're listening to this, maybe your father listening to this, and you have a kid that uh, may or may not decide they want to go to college. Maybe you should connect them with Bizlink. Come to this event and learn more about it. Be a part of the programs. Connect to the virtual training. We're always having something. Every single month there's a training. We talked about fund development, grant writing, and loans, and we have a group that are actually we're walking them through the process of writing new grants.
Oh, wow.
Last night, I don't know when you guys are going to be listening to this, but last night, one of our members, Dr. Lynn Johnson, she taught on risk management in entrepreneurship, knowing what you don't know so that you can eventually know it. We have some financial stuff coming up. I mean, some marketing stuff coming up. So if you're somebody that's interested in any of those things, April 6th is a great event for you.
Nice. How many speakers are you going to have?
We'll probably have right now, we're still building the lineup, but probably 2 to 3 speakers, 2 to 3 panels.
Oh, nice.
So, who knows, Louise, you may be hearing from us as well.
Hey, cool. Now, I saw
and we'll be doing a live podcast.
Okay, nice. There we go.
Yes.
So it's from 10 to 2.
Yes.
Right, 10 to 2. Could it be, if it gets bigger, could it be longer? Like what,
Absolutely. If it's bigger, we'll go as long as people are there, you know what I mean, and people are interested in coming in, we'll go as long as we need to.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So space is limited, I'm assuming, and they need to register. They can go to mybizlinc.com.
Yes.
You need to register ASAP.
If
you want to be successful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a no-brainer. I think if you're a parent, if you're listening to this, if you have kids, if you're, I don't know if you remember we talked about this. What I think success is, hey, of course, it'd be great to have, billions of dollars. But I think true success, at least at the core of it, is, being able to support your family
Absolutely.
100% without lack. Retire your spouse, have your, I think if you could do that and be without lack, I think that is a huge step. And I think that's the goal. You talk to any business owner, like, yes, that's the goal. And then everything else there is just, the icing on the cake.
That's you're absolutely right. That's real success. And I think about the idea of economic prosperity.
Yeah.
Economic prosperity, economic development, and I did want to mention this. What I appreciate about Lake Wells and this area here is the current commission that's here.
Yeah.
I appreciate the forward thinking and the commitment that they have for this city. The city manager is probably one of the top in the country, and James Slayton, and with what he's actually doing and pioneering here in this city. And our goal is for more people to get in on that thing that you just talked about, being able to be a blessing to themselves, their families, but then ultimately also the community as a whole, man. So that's what we're after.
Yeah. Well, I think that pretty much sums everything up. What do you think?
Yeah, I think we're good, man.
Awesome. Well, thank you for watching, everyone. Again, my name is Luis Mendez. I'm a local real estate agent here in Lake Wells, Florida. Come check out Bizlinc at mybizlinc.com. And that's mybizlinc.com. Come check it out. Find out more information. And thank you for watching.